Ukraine is reported to have carried out more attacks on the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula. Smoke has been seen rising above the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in Sevastopol. Moscow claims it shot down a Ukrainian drone. Ukrainian troops are reported to have carried out more attacks on Russian forces in the Crimean Peninsula. Smoke has been seen rising from the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in Sevastopol. Moscow claims it shot down a Ukrainian drone. Well, Russia's occupied Crimea since 2014. There have been a series of recent attacks on Russian military infrastructure there. Our correspondent James Waterhouse reports now from the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv.
It's what and where this is which makes this smoke significant. Another apparent strike in Russian-occupied Crimea. Over the last 11 days, there have been a series of explosions on mostly military targets. Out of all the Ukrainian territory which Moscow has taken, Crimea is where its grip has been strongest. But that grasp appears to be weakening.
Russia's commanders aren't saying what happened, but it is either a failure of Russia's air defences or of Russia's intelligence services. Regardless of who is causing these explosions, for Ukraine the result is the same. It is the weakening of Russia's position in the south, because we confirm that Crimea is Ukraine.
Further north in Kyiv, preparations for Independence Day. Captured or destroyed Russian tanks are big tourist attractions here. Now, they're on the move. To here, the main street in Kyiv. Ukraine wants to tell the world it will continue to fight. It hasn't acknowledged any responsibility for these strikes in Crimea, but what they do is reinforce the government's message that it will defend itself. The continued supply of weapons from the West is helping Ukraine do that. Another US package worth £655 million will be welcomed. There has been some diplomatic progress with the occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Ukraine claims the Russians are using it as a military base. After international pressure, the Kremlin has agreed to give inspectors access. The details of how will be crucial.
And James joins me live now from Kyiv. James, you mentioned weapons. The war is almost 6 months old now. Is Ukraine getting the sort of weapons it needs now from the West?
Well, it depends what the Ukrainians want to do. I mean, they want to repel Russia fully. I think to this point, it is clear this help from the West is allowing the country to hold the defensive line. But we need to look at the questions which are raised by what we've seen in Crimea over the past 11 days. What has happened to the air defense systems that the Russians installed along the peninsula? What exactly caused these blasts which we have seen? Were they saboteurs? Were they longer range missile strikes, which the West has helped Ukraine with? Or were they drone strikes indeed, as reported today? There are a lot of unknowns, but it is clear that Western weaponry is helping, but Ukraine will always bang the drum for more. Nevertheless, what we've seen in Crimea challenges two myths, I think. Firstly, that it is a place, an impregnable base for Russia to stage its naval fleet and as well as aircrafts to launch attacks on Ukraine. But it also challenges the myth that Crimea is part of Russia.